You are listening to the We Are West Ham podcast with me, Will Pugh, and my co-host and mate, James Jones. And neither of us are in the mood for this. West Ham United 0, Tottenham Hotspur 3 at London Stadium on Saturday night. Played like a normal football team for the first 45 minutes. Actually looked okay, defended well. Similar vibes to the first 80 minutes against Nottingham Forest. But in classic West Ham fashion, came out after the second half. Thought, we'll give it 10 minutes or so to get back into the game. Not how it works. By that stage, total collapse. Tottenham score from a corner, which is the least surprising thing to have happened in the history of the world, as it looked like it was coming for all of the first half. Thomas Souček does a very uncharacteristic thing for Thomas Souček. Gets himself sent off for a stupid, reckless tackle. Game, set and match, collapse incoming. Tottenham duly score 2 more and get their players off and ready for their Champions League game later this week for the last 20 minutes. And as usual, the mass exodus of London Stadium occurred around the hour mark. Absolutely pathetic. Apathy once again surrounds West Ham. What is our club becoming? Who knows who cares even, whether it's the manager, who's to blame, whether it's the players, the owner, the board, all of it is just absolutely crap and boring. The only thing we really had to play for this season was beating Tottenham. We already whimpered out the League Cup to one of the few teams who actually looked worse than us in the Premier League this season after going 2-0 up. Yet another collapse in a short space of time. Football games, unless Graham Potter and his team need telling, are 90 minutes plus 2 chunks of stoppage time at the end of each half. It tends to help if you play football to the best of your ability and try hard for all of those minutes, lest you concede loads of goals to the opposition, who will likely be trying hard for the whole game. I'm bored of it. James Jones, hello, mate. How are you? Are you bored of it?
Hello. Yeah, I'm bored of it, mate. It's
boring. It's boring.
It's boring. Yeah, it's boring. Do you know what? The result didn't surprise me in the slightest.
Didn't you predict we were going to win?
You got to say that, don't you, really? I think we'll win. But in the back of your mind, you're like, we're probably not going to.
Well, I called us losing 5-1 to Chelsea.
Yeah, you did do that. Yeah. And I just... The frustration I had on the night was, like you said at the beginning, the first half was all right. We had a beer at half time going, well, that wasn't too bad. It's all right. There's improvements here.
Proper football team.
Maybe we've turned a corner. And then, I mean, I came back to my seat, which is what I normally do, about 5 minutes after the half time, second half kicks off.
It's game over.
And I got to my seat, just watching the game. And I looked at the big screen, maybe 5 minutes after I got back to my seat and was like, oh, hang on, what, we 1-0 down? And I was like, when did that happen? They were like, literally about 30 seconds after we started. And I was like, well, fair enough. And then just the moment I saw that, I was like, well, I might as well go now because we're not going to get back into this. There's absolutely no way. And then Souček gets sent off. And everyone's looking at each other going, should we go? What's the point?
Go on.
So we left. I think I dragged it out to 75. Do you know what, mate? Do you know what? Like, I'm not normally one for leaving early, like famously.
You have said this is the second week in a row you've said this.
But this is now twice this season I left early, and it's the third time since we moved into that stadium I've left early, which isn't very many times, to be fair. I'm just getting a little bit like, what's the point? Like,
mate, but you're not the only one, mate. There's tens of thousands of people who feel that way.
I know. It's the collapse every time we go 1-0 down. You know, it happened at Sunderland. We go 2-1 down against Chelsea, they collapse.
Wolves, momentum just shifted. You could just tell.
Yeah, and the heads just drop, and it's just like, come on, guys. Like,
and you do sense if Forest had scored, that would have been it. I know we ended up playing well.
Yeah. Almost Forest did what we would do. We went 1-0 up, and they went, well, that's it. And then we went and won 3-0.
You can have the points.
Yeah. It's just like, it's the frustration that the heads just dropped. And obviously, didn't help we went down to 10 men.
Well, that ruined it. Again,
And it,
Souček's got enough credit in the bank, can he? But it's game over as soon as it happened. It's done, isn't it?
yeah. And I just and there's no complaints around the red card. It was a red card. And you just knew it was a red card. Like, I've never seen a referee pull a card out quicker than that.
I couldn't agree more. It was like before he'd even connected with the player, the ref had the card up in there.
He hadn't even. I think he blew a whistle after he brought the card out because he was like, well, "That's definitely a red."
I'm not sure if it's a foul, but it's definitely a red.
Yeah. It's like he showed it at half time before they even kicked off. It's like, right, well, you're getting sent off, you're going off. So yeah, it's like, well, he's shown it that quickly. He is closer than I am. It doesn't seem like a Thomas Souček type of challenge, but it's probably a red card. You can't really complain about it. So yeah,
that was funny. Sorry, before you move on, what I thought was really fun, and again, it's one of those episodes where it's so bad, and I'm so depressed about it, and so miserable, and the whole thing looks so hopeless that it's like gallows humor sort of thing, where it's like, well, we're gonna have to find some sort of mirth in this, and I guess that's what people turn to us for a lot of the time. The funniest thing, the funny thing was I was just like, yeah. And I think it's part of the reason the ref showed the red card so quickly is the entire stadium to a man/woman, even though he was our own player, as soon as Souček made the tackle, the whole stadium went, ooh. Yeah. As in just like, yeah, ref, we get it. Like, get him off.
I looked around and there was just like blokes just head in hands going, "What have you done, Tom? What have you done, mate?" Right, it's just obvious, isn't it?
Yeah. And even Souček was sort of like, he was doing the thing where he's like, like shrugging his shoulders a bit. But even he
knew.
Like,
he knew.
Well, yeah. So I'm like, fine. Are you all right, mate? I know that was an awful tackle.
He was almost shrugging his shoulders out of disbelief in the fact that it was him that made the tackle. Like, he was just like, I can't believe I've just done that. I can't believe I've just done that. That's not me. I don't know who that person was just making that tackle, but it wasn't me. I think most people thought that because like you'd expect Paqueta to make a challenge like that, but you wouldn't expect.
Souček. You're right. You know what I find with Souček a lot of the time? I find him going in for tackles where I'm like, oh no, careful, don't put your foot there, you're going to get sent off. But he always seems to get the ball.
But I think with this one, it was as a result of he's miscontrolled the ball. The ball's come down, and he's just got away from him a little bit, and he's overreached for it, and he probably didn't need to overreach for it because it was in the middle of the pitch. It's not going anywhere. Okay, you give the ball away, fine. We do that 100 times a game anyway. It doesn't matter. So it's like, well, if you go another time, Tom, it doesn't matter, mate. Just don't try and break the geezer's legs trying to get the ball back. So yeah, it was a bit like it was a silly. He didn't need to overreach, and that says and him overreaching means that his stubs are naturally up. He's not gone in there recklessly trying to. Like, he's just not that type of player.
Naturally.
But it's just him overreaching for the ball means his studs are naturally up, and Palhinha's he's milked it massively. Like, obviously he would do.
Yeah, but I mean, he did get some studs in his shin.
Yeah, I know, but come on, mate.
I think one of them's still in there.
Yeah, it might be, but mate, chill out. It's only a stud. Pretty grown man for crying out loud. But yeah, I don't know, mate.
Yeah, I'm with you. Right, listen. Thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for all your nice messages. Thanks for all the new Patreon members. Hello. Thanks for joining. Welcome to the collective, to the gang, to the fold. Follow us on socials, everyone. Just quickly, by the way, the rest of this podcast will be me and James gritting our teeth, talking as much as we can bear about West Ham. We'll do a bit more of a review on the game. We will make time to laugh at Mohammed Kudus, by the way, and absolutely slag him for being mentally weak, which he clearly is, and sort of applaud all the West Ham fans for getting on his back and at least giving us something positive to remember from that game. We will do that. We'll talk about the game a bit more. We'll talk about where it leaves Potter begrudgingly, because I think we're all kind of on the same page now where we realise one man, can't fix this really, and that the one man who has done before, we're not going to talk about him again, but it was an anomaly rather than a pattern. I'm also going to talk about there's one manager I wouldn't like that I wouldn't mind seeing replace Graham Potter. But I just think the club and the board are in an impossible position now, where they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. Yeah, I'm not sure where we go from here, but we'll have a chat about it later on in this podcast. So keep listening, won't you? If you're feeling, which you undoubtedly are, you're either a Tottenham fan listening to this for a laugh, in which case I'd stick around because you probably will find it funny. Because I am miserable and we will moan about our team. And it'll be the sort of stuff you can clip up on Twitter and go, lol, look at these two bitter idiots.
They've already done it. They've already done it to me this season once, so you can do it again if you want.
Much like you did when James Jones said we've pulled Tottenham's pants down with Kudus, which, to be fair, is looking very, very true, particularly after Saturday. What pathetic performance it was from Kudus. So we'll do all that. So stick around if you're feeling bleak like us and you fancy cheering up, or you want two people who feel exactly the same way as you do, but are just talking about it and putting it out in public for some weird reason. Starting to really question why we do this, James. But anyway, if you fancy that and it sounds good, stick around because that's exactly what we'll be doing. If you want some sort of uplifting, positive optimism about the solution to get out of this problem, we'll look somewhere else because you will not find that on this show. We hope you stick around, though. Do us a favour as well, or do yourselves a favour, actually. Follow us on social media at @WeAre_West Ham on Twitter. On Instagram at @WeAreWestHamPod. Subscribe, please, to our YouTube channel. Chugging away quite nicely over there. And, of course, as a few of you have done this week, if you like getting stuff early, particularly podcasts, maybe like a day before everyone else, and you don't like listening to adverts in the middle of your podcasts, then sign up to patreon.com/WeAreWestHamPodcast, where for just a handful of pound coins a month, less than 4, in fact, you can get exactly that. You get all these podcasts, every one of the ones we do, the main reaction show and the opposition view later in the week. You get them both a day before everyone else and with no adverts in it. What a deal that is. That's patreon.com/WeAreWestHamPodcast. And you also get the community chat as well, where we pile in and try and sort of see the funny side and exchange views, thoughts and opinions among the We Are West Ham Patreon members. So yeah, if you fancy that sounds good, do that and stay with us for the rest of this show because we have a little bit more Tottenham reaction and where do we go here? What does it mean for Potter chat next? Right, James, I don't really know how much sort of technical analysis there is to do on the game, really. I think we've done a lot of it up top. First half, thought we were good, didn't create loads, neither did they, I didn't think, to be quite fair. And if anything, I seem to remember Bowen, was it, having a half-decent chance in the first half. They didn't create much either. I was listening to some of their fans bleating on at me today, saying, I don't know if you were the better team in the first half. So, well, relax, neither are you. Hermansen had to do nothing at all, fortunately. Because if he had done, you would have been 1-0 up, no doubt. But yeah, I thought we defended well. I thought it was a bit like Forest. We didn't exactly look like we were going to do loads, but they weren't threatening either. I thought Kudus was absolutely pants, and we'll come on to that in a minute. Xavi Simons, who I was really worried about before the game, I thought he looked miles off it. Take him a while to bed in. Maybe he's got some room to go still. Thought we looked okay in the midfield. Fernandes was trying to do bits. We were passing the ball about nicely when we did get the ball. Just looked like a semi-normal football team playing in a competitive game of football in the Premier League, which was nice. And again, sort of felt like we were building a little bit on the Nottingham Forest game. The only thing where we did look so susceptible, weak and crap was any time they got a corner. They're clearly targeting Hermansen, and why wouldn't you? Because he's clearly awful in those situations. I've seen every single team we've played against this season do it. Crowd the box, swing a ball in, either near post or front post, into the melee, and watch him flap at it, get nowhere near it, or just graze it. Like zero. I think he did one punch, which you just about call commanding. And sure enough, and this is exactly what I mean time and time again, James, about, we just need some square pegs in some square holes. And one of those square holes, we've done this already, to be fair, in weeks gone by, but one of the square holes that I think we had a squarish peg in already that didn't need filling, or certainly didn't need the peg replacing, was in goal. And all right, Graham Potter might want to play a possession-based style of football, which he would prefer having a goalkeeper who can play out from the back. But I'm sorry, you do things gradually. None of that matters if the flipping bloke can't use his hands and can't. One of the big parts of being a goalkeeper, can't command his box. Bergval's goal, pathetic positioning, absolutely pathetic positioning. Like the smallest bloke on the pitch loops a header over the top. You shouldn't be getting lobbed from positions like that. He was totally in no man's land. When the ball is in the air, crosses, he's positioned against Sunderland. Same again, he's at fault for 2 of those goals. And teams are aware. You just wouldn't get any of that from Areola. He might not be as good with his feet, but he wasn't. I never thought he was bad enough with his feet that you were looking at it going, oh, we're struggling because of this. Never did I once think that. And it doesn't matter how good we are with our feet and how many extra goals we score from being able to have a goalkeeper who can build up from the back, which, by the way, we're seeing zero proof of so far. We don't look like scoring for a month of Sundays, and didn't yet again at the weekend. Like, what's he added to all he's done is significantly weakened us at the back where we're already weak. So we were already fairly easy to break through from open play because of our defence and lack of legs in midfield. And now it's like, oh, well, if you manage to do that, which you probably will be able to, and then get a corner, don't worry, we'll look really, really weak from them as well. It's just the whole thing is set up. And I heard a whisper in the last couple of days that Potter didn't want him. Well, and that he wasn't a Potter signing. At this stage, I'm not certain of the validity of that yet. It wasn't an untrusted source. But it just felt, but it could easily just be whether it's a briefing from Potter's side of things or whatever to try and take some of the heat off him. There's plenty of heat on him anyway. I don't understand how he's not a Potter signing. And I just don't understand how you can look at that squad from before and not see huge other areas of concern, more so than in goal. I'm not saying Areola was, like prime Buffon, but he wasn't absolutely minging, was he? He wasn't Roberto or, and the myriad of other totally pants goalkeepers that we've had in the past. He wasn't any of those. He was fine. And we just got worse. It's just another embarrassing thing. And no wonder people can't be bothered to go, because I was saying this today. I have never minded when he used to go at West Ham, particularly Upton Park, but even at London Stadium as well. If we turn up to watch our team and we're desperate for them to win every game, but you used to do it at Upton Park, you turn up and you'd be playing Man United and you go, oh, we've got a chance here, the atmosphere, and our team will give it our all, blah, blah. And then Wayne Rooney had banged 2 from 35 yards out. David Beckham would do some sort of wizardry, not in the same game before anyone gets on me that they didn't play at the same time. Or you see Ronaldo do something, or we played Chelsea and Lampard would bang in 2 like world-class, unbelievable finishes on the end of amazing moves. And you kind of go, fair enough. You've done some better football than we have. Like, well done. Yeah, fine. You're annoyed West Ham didn't win, but if you're undone by world-class talent and good moves, and they've had to work hard to score against you and produce quality, fair enough. We're just giving it to teams. We're giving it to teams. If teams are scoring and think they can score against us because our goalie's like Sunday league level at commanding his box. Like, one of the vital things about being a goalkeeper, the only person on the pitch who could do that, I'd rather have 10 players who are decent with their feet and the one bloke who's the only one who can use his hands be good with his hands. It's just so it's utter woke nonsense, James. 2026, all this. And look at Man City. They've just gone, Edison's on his way out and they've gone and got Donnarumma. Not amazing at distributing, probably not as bad as people make out necessarily. But ultimately, he's one of the greatest goalkeepers, i.e. with his hands, in the world. So they went out and got him. And it's pathetic. It's just so rubbish. And teams are just like, oh, just put a cross in against West Ham. Don't worry, they'll create problems for you. When all teams have to do to look really dangerous against West Ham, look like they're going to score, is put in a 7 out of 10 corner and put loads of players in the box. That's not producing world class or really high levels of quality or really clever moves. Is it? It's launching a ball in the box and putting loads of your players near our keeper because you can't come and punch it. And that on top of everything else, just pathetic, mate. You'll go. There's a chance Fabianski starts next game as well, which is severely funny.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? I mean, I did find it weird that they seemed hell bent on getting a goalkeeper in. It was meant to be that other lad from Brazil.
Yeah, John Victor.
He ended up going to Forest in the end because Forest is by everyone anyway. But we obviously pulled out right at the last minute and got Hermansen and said, it's like, well, I mean, I don't know anything about John Victor, so I don't know if he'd have been any better. But I did find it just a little bit weird that they were going all out for a goalkeeper, a first choice goalkeeper as well, when the midfield had a gaping hole in it. And they left that right to the end, but they worried about the goalkeeper at the start, and it was a bit like, well, what are we doing here? So I do agree with you. I don't really know.
Sorry, but if it's a choice, put Areola back in. Surely.
Well, I'd be shocked if he isn't thinking about it, because you can't concede 14 goals in 5 games, mate. and be like, no, we'll keep the keeper in there. Like, he's not responsible for all of them, but he's responsible for a lot of them.
Too many of them, yeah.
And it's like, how after 14 goals conceded in 5 games, at what point do you go, yeah, we need to make a change here because something's not right? You know, okay, he didn't concede 3 of those because Areola was in goal for 3 against Wolves. But even then, he's conceded 11 in 4. And it's not good enough. Like, in the Premier League, it's not good enough. You cannot be conceding 11 goals in 4 games and expect to keep your place in the team.
But the thing is, it's not. He was directly responsible, or could have done significantly better on probably minimum 4, probably 5 of those. People were giving him a bit of grief for 2 of the Sunderland ones, which I think was a bit harsh. Probably one of those positioning bad. I'm definitely giving him Bergvall, and I think even though the Tottenham opening goal at the weekend, I know it comes from the back post, but I think, and he's probably, you couldn't say, you should be getting on the end of that. But I think because teams already know that he's so bad, I don't think Tottenham would have employed that tactic of just piling everyone in the box. I don't think they'll do that on every corner they take this season.
No, I on that first goal, I watched it back before we came on. Sarr is completely unmarked at that back post. There's not a single West Ham player even looking at him.
But my point is, they're probably so obsessed with getting everyone out of the way of poor little Mads.
Yeah, but that's not Hermansen's fault that no one's picked him up. They're all worried about Romero, Van der Ven, and all the other geezers in the middle. And then perhaps Sarr just sitting at the back post going, thank you very much, I'll have a bit of that. He probably couldn't believe his luck because he was standing there. No one went even near him. When everyone's here, and he just pops up at the back post. Not a single West Ham player near him. So that's a problem. But from where Hermansen's concerned, I think the change has to be made for the weekend against Palace, because
big time.
I mean, I don't know. You can't keep going on like that. You can't keep going.
I'm sorry, I haven't seen him do anything that good with his feet. I don't know what he's doing with his feet that Areola wouldn't. Like, it's what's he done? Like,
well, this is the other baffling thing, is that we've made that change because allegedly he's good with his feet and he's a ball player. But you can't. If that's what he's in the team to do, then you've got to start playing that system now, right? And we're not playing that system now. There is no attempt at playing out from the back. So what's he there for? I don't
know what system we're playing, honestly.
I haven't seen us go, right, well, let's play it from the back here. Let's play it from the back. Like, even if, okay, you might get into a bit of trouble because we're still getting used to it. And there's, players, you've got to train these players to play that way.
But what way?
At least persist with, okay, every opportunity we have, we play out from the back. Hermansen starts it every time. If that's what he's in the team to do, then why aren't we doing it? We're not doing any of that. So it's like, if that's what he's in the squad to do, then do it.
I'm sorry though, mate.
If we're not going to do it, then don't have him in goal.
Yeah, Yeah, I agree.
Because Ariola's distribution is woeful. Like, it's terrible. Can't pass the ball.
But is
But
it that bad? Is it
it,
really that bad?
it is, mate. There was a couple of times last year. It was like, mate, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah,
just
but I
don't,
mean, if all
mate.
right,
Ariola, just don't kick it. Don't kick it. Please
I
don't
don't
kick
remember
it.
any. I don't remember any like grave woeful. He never like gives the
No,
ball
that
to the opponent's guy. I can
no.
remember.
The one that really stands out for me was Tottenham away last year. We got beat 4-1, and
Oh
it
yeah, I
was,
don't know when he was
mate.
bad that game.
It was literally like, and that was the game that convinced me we're probably gonna have to buy another keeper, because
He
like,
was particularly bad that
you
game.
can't have a goalkeeper just aimlessly just whacking the ball out of play every 5 minutes and like giving the ball back to
No,
him.
but
Like,
surely better that than have a goalkeeper who literally looks like we're handing opposition a goal every time they get a corner.
yes, yeah, but
Like,
it swings and roundabouts though. Like, and
no, but it's not. One of them's worse than the other.
I think at the same time, like the situation we're in now, and we're getting beat at crosses every in every game, and we're conceding goals at crosses, then you need a goalkeeper in there that can deal with that. And at the moment, Ariola's the man. I mean, even Fabianski could do it. So it's like, they've got to make a change. I think he's got to do it this weekend. He's got to drop him.
Yep.
He's got to take him out the firing line. If he intends to put him back in after a few weeks, then fine. But you've got to take him out the firing line, because he's like, it's not going to do much for his confidence either, conceding 3 or 4 goals every week.
No,
like, just get him out of the team. Get him out of the team for now.
Yeah, I agree. Well, sure. Mohammed Kudus, James, just sort of try and pick things up a bit. Seriously, I think that game of the weekend tells you and shows you everything you need to know, and Tottenham fans need to know as well about Mohammed Kudus, right? Firstly, I really, really, really enjoyed a good old-fashioned booing of a player, right? From the whole fans. You know what it's like. We often moan about the atmosphere at London Stadium, and I was taken back to the good old days at Upton Park, where you couldn't hear yourself think because of how loud the deafening boos for Frank Lampard every time Chelsea came to town. All right, he'd normally bang a couple of goals in, giving it these ones, shushing the crowd, over celebrating with Chelsea fans. And if I'm honest, I was like, fair enough, adds to the spectacle. I think it's brilliant. Jermaine Defoe, same thing. Like, when it's sort of like visceral, you can hear the ground vibrating because everyone is booing. Just a good old fashioned boo, right? I know people sort of cross the line sometimes, go into other more personal attacks, but just a good old fashioned boo and making it well intimidating for someone when they go and take a corner, right? And that's exactly the sort of intangible stuff about Upton Park that I always talk about, right? And that I think we miss, and I think we lack at London Stadium. And you can't tell me that stuff doesn't impact on opposition and their ability to play, right? So I think it's much harder to do it at London Stadium. I think lots of fans feel it has less of an impact. I think it's sort of a snowball effect at Upton Park, right? Because if a few people did it, it felt louder and it felt atmospheric, so everyone would join in and they feel more like they're part of the crowd and you're not standing out as much. If you make any noise at London Stadium now, chances are not many people around you are, and it certainly doesn't catch around the whole stadium as quickly as it used to. So there's less of that. But I really enjoyed it. Just a good old fashioned, because I was thinking people would be like, oh, modern football, blah, blah, blah. Not really. Yeah, it's just the way things go. They paid good money. Do you know what I mean? But just being a little bit, I use this word ironically, by the way, but being a little bit woke about it. Do you know what I
I was
mean?
about to say, this is very woke saying that.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. But I was properly delighted to hear everyone, and quite relentlessly for the first half as well, giving him a right old rollicking. And the best thing about it was, and I think this is that will tell you exactly what you need to know about Mohammed Kudus, exactly what Tottenham fans will realise in time, exactly what we were saying up until now, is that he's all right and he's brilliant. He's fine when things are going well. But when the going gets tough, he does not like it. And he's a bit mentally weak, because that was affecting him massively in the first half. I want to give a huge shout out to the ball boy down my end, who I sit on the corner, for anyone who doesn't know, of the Billy Bonds stand and the Bobby Moore end, just at the front of the upper tier, basically right on the corner flag. And absolute kudos to the ball boy down that end, who, when Tottenham got a corner, and the ball was sat on the cone, and the ball boy had the ball that had come off the pitch. Kudus, because he'd been getting such a hammering from everyone down our end and across down that side he was playing on, because he'd been getting such a hammering, he didn't want to walk outside the lines of the pitch. So he gestured to the ball boy to like throw him the ball that the ball boy had in his hands. And the ball boy, fair play to him, just refused and gestured towards the ball that was sat on one of those cones that was about 2 yards in front of the ball boy and miles off the pitch, for goodness, and made him walk. And honestly, the whole of that corner like erupted in applause for the ball boy. And then Kudus came over and another load of hammering, booing. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. It's a bit old school, took me back a little bit. And I think players, if they're going to, it's quite clear, Kudus made it absolutely abundantly clear what a mercenary style player he was last season. And again, spoke about it extensively when the going got tough. Lucas Paqueta had the stuff hanging over his head, and you kind of saw, he got a pass, and he's put a statement out. He's willing to stay at West Ham to repay the loyalty he felt from the fans and the club this season. There's a man, albeit there would have been lucrative financial offers on the table, depending who you listen to, how close that deal to take him to Aston Villa really was. But ultimately, he's sticking around at a time when he could have definitely gone to a more attractive sporting project somewhere else, aka any of the other teams in the Premier League. And Kudus just not interested. Like he could have stepped up last season and should have done, third highest earner. Bowen's the only man who could hold his head up high, and Wan-Bissaka, if you listen to some of the fans who voted him Hammer of the Year, Kudus nowhere near it. He should have been last season. He should have certainly been in the running for it. It was pathetic, rubbish returns, because it was all getting a bit hostile and it weren't as easy like it was the year before. Sure enough, today, when it's even, fans are getting on his back, did not like it whatsoever. And then when Tottenham go 1-0 up and West Ham go down to 10 men, through no thanks to him, I would like to add, then all of a sudden, once we're 3-0 down and we've got nothing left in us, then he starts doing the old Cruyff control and all that sort of stuff. But it's like, where was that in the first half, mate? It's easy then, isn't it? It's easy. It shows a total lack of spine and character. So on a very, very, very bleak day where there was naught but dark clouds in the air, and I would like to thank all my fellow West Ham fans, particularly those in my area of the ground, in the Bobby Moore lower there and the sort of lower Billy Bonds in that corner, and all the way up to where I sit, who were proper giving him a booing. Like, well done. Brilliant. Old school. Loved it.
Funny enough, I was talking to a Tottenham fan a couple of days before the game, and he said, he was like, if I'm Thomas Frank, I'm dropping him for this game. Because he's going to get annihilated by the fans. And do you put a player like that into an environment like that? And I think he was right. He was absolutely right. He shouldn't have played, or bring him on in the second half when you're really 3-0 up. Bring him on then, because it was very obvious, especially in that first half, that he was not enjoying himself. He must have been thinking, God, what have I done here? What have I done? I mean, he should have been thinking about it anyway, because what are you doing sign for that lot anyway? Let alone it having to be proven to you that it was a really bad idea by 60,000 fans. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I actually missed that ball boy moment down the other end of the pitch.
Oh, mate, Ico's brilliant stuff. Fair play.
But yeah, fair play.
And continued to do it, by the way. He didn't he continued to make him get the ball off the cone, even though he sat there with another one. Brilliant.
I'm not surprised though that it affected him, because we saw a lot of it last year. He's only up for it 50% of the time, maybe not even that. You don't,
when everything's going sort of easy and it's all right. He's not a dig in and pull you out the doldrums player, is he?
And I don't know. Maybe I'm not. He's a bit of a hothead as well. We saw that against Tottenham last year.
Yeah, but petulantly so. Do you know what I mean?
So it's like, and I did wonder. I was wondering during the first half. I was like, if this gets a little bit too much for him, and he has a couple of little frustrating moments where he miscontrols the ball or overplays a pass or misses a chance, this could get quite interesting, because we know what he's like. We know how he can get. And unfortunately, it didn't get that way, because that would have been funny That would have been incredibly funny.
But it would have been if he got sent off.
Yeah, oh, mate, it would have been. I mean, we'd have celebrated like we scored a goal. We'd have done with celebrating like we scored a goal. To be fair, we needed it. Yeah.
He but he didn't. He went out. He shrunk into himself, didn't he?
Yeah.
And that's exactly it. And I think Frank Lampard, Jermaine Defoe. Fair play to him. There's sort of the only two players I can think of got that amount of grief at Upton Park. They always, fair play to them, it drove them on, didn't it? They always were like, you could tell they thrived on it. And that's why I think, when you score, when you're getting all that grief, the best thing to do is go and play well and score. And then that's why I never mind if they start giving it back and they start shushing fans and cupping the ears. It's part of the spectacle, isn't it? And obviously you're like, whatever. But I like all that. I think if you're going to give it as fans, you got to be prepared to take it back. And if you're a player and you've been getting it all game, mate, if I'd got grief like that and I scored, I'd be straight over. I'd be shirt off. I'd be definitely. And I think that's the difference. And you can't help but admire Frank Lampard for that sort of stuff, and Defoe even. Because, come into a hostile atmosphere and they did the best thing they could possibly do and just put the ball in the net. And I think he just shows you that. And when he's doing the showboat in the second half, it's just so petulant and pathetic, isn't it? Like, if he had any sense of caring about the club at all or respect, once we were 3-0 down and well beaten, you wouldn't start doing that. You'd have a day off of that, wouldn't you? You'd just be professional by all accounts, but doing Cruyff turns, thinking you're sort of like the boy, but doing Cruyff controls on the touchline once we're 3-0 down to 10 men. Whereas in the first half, when it was a proper game, you were nowhere near it. This shows you everything you need to know about him. I'm glad, really, and I think Tottenham fans know deep down that they've bought a dud there. So yeah, happy days. Anything else to talk about, James? I mean, we've done. Add to the corners things, obviously annoying, but it's so weak. Got to do something about that. Bergvall goal, pathetic. Awful goalkeeping position again. That was down your end, obviously, and then the Van der Ven one took a deflection in the build up to him, but susceptible from wide areas as always. Any other thoughts, feelings, emotions?
No. I think that we just got to our partner, haven't we? Really?
Yeah, Graham Potter.
Where do we go? What happens?
Hang on, I'll tell you what, James. We'll have a little break here. Wait there. Right, go on then, James. Graham Potter. What do we do? Stay or go?
I mean, a couple of weeks ago, after we went on that little shopping spree for two midfielders in one day, and it was
he came on, didn't he? I forgot about him.
It was off the backdrop of rumours that he'd been given 2 games to save his job, and I think I tweeted it. I was like, no manager has been given 2 games to save he's been given 2 midfielders and going, yeah, but that ultimatum still stands, by the way. I've just bought you a whole new midfield, but you've still only got 2 games. So I thought, nah, I don't think that's the case. But obviously since then, we've won at Forest, impressive win, and then we've been battered by Tottenham at home, and it's a bit like, okay, well, we're kind of back to where we were started here. We've discussed before that, it isn't just him at fault for a lot of this, but I think at the same time, he's tried to change something when it comes to tactics. He stopped playing that 3 at the back or the 5 at the back, depending on which way you want to look at it.
Yeah, fair play. And again, glad. Yeah,
he did that against Forest. It paid off, and for the first time against Tottenham, it looked like, okay, we'll be a little bit more. There's a little bit more shape here, a little bit more purpose. But the more I think about it, I'm like, we can't. Everyone knows me. I'm the type of person that would prefer to give a manager as much time as possible to try and get it right.
Yeah, you were the biggest Lopetegui fan going, weren't you?
But that's purely because I don't want us to get into a cycle which we're currently in right now, right? Where you go, right, sack the manager because it's not working. We'll bring another manager in midway through a season. Give him half a season, he keeps us up. Give him a summer, and then we have a bad start to next season. Oh, that hasn't worked. We'll sack him. Let's bring another guy in to save us again. Give him a summer. Oh, it's not working again. Let's sack him. And suddenly, every 6 months, you're sacking a manager. And it's a bit like, well, at what point do we have to go, okay, well, we need to give the manager time to actually do this. And you need to give him more than a summer, more than a January transfer window to actually build the squad that he wants to play the way that he wants to.
But I think people are realising now, aren't they? We discussed this last week, that the club and any manager is limited in its very just the way it's run and
that's why I'm kind of still swaying towards does it achieve anything if we sack him now? What does it achieve? Because the next guy's going to come in, he's not going to fit at any type of philosophy or direction that the club wants to go in. The club has no idea which direction he wants to go in.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
So it's like, so in that case, then, if you sack him now, you're at risk of keeping that cycle going, and also employing a guy that's probably going to keep that cycle going further. Or you keep him and just give him the time to work out what that philosophy is, and you kind of you try and work together and go, right, okay, it's going to be a bit painful for a while, but the long-term plan is that he will get, hopefully, touch wood, he'll get us to a point where, suddenly there is a bit of an identity here. It's going to take more than one summer and one January. So I'm kind of in two minds about it. In my head, I'm going 6 wins in 24 is just not good enough. 25% win ratio. It's worse than Lopetegui, right?
Yeah.
So you go, that's not good enough. But then you look at the conditions and go, well,
within which he's working.
Yeah, and you go, okay, well, he's not 100% to blame for the situation that the club finds itself in. So, it's kind of you got to weigh it up. I don't think the club achieves anything by getting rid of him now. Because again, who's available?
Mate, we'll move on to this in a minute, right?
I just
the job of a manager, though, is to play the cards you are dealt the best.
Which he's done that, right? He's changed the system we've changed the formation for the last 2 games.
Yeah, no, sorry, he's been there
for 1.5 of those. For 1.5 of those games, it seems to have worked, right? A little bit more stability, a little bit more purpose. Didn't work in the second half against Tottenham. Fine, heads went down to 10 men. It happens, right? But you can't. I was worried that he wasn't the type of manager that could react. He's too stubborn on his back five. He's reacted, and it has looked better. Scoreline aside against Tottenham, it's looked better. So that's in my head going, okay, well, maybe there is something here. Not overnight, but maybe there is something.
Honestly, mate, James, seriously, and I mean this, and I'm not, but it's just not that. It's like, it wasn't that difficult to see, was it? Do you know what I mean?
No.
It's like we're getting overrun in midfield. We're still playing 5 at the back. Like, we're still doing that. Just got dipped by Chelsea. But what I mean is, mate, sorry, my point is, the man's been there for 9 months now. Right, he hasn't been there. And I get, he wasn't hugely backed in the summer, certainly not to the tune that Lopetegui was. Definitely, I understand that. But you've been there 9 months, and the job of a football manager is ultimately to win some games of football. Now, I'm so bored, not just at West Ham. I'm so bored of in 2025 listening to football managers, and I called it Vincent Kompany syndrome originally. I'm starting to call it Russell Martin syndrome for this season. I am so bored of hearing managers talk about their style of play as if that matters more than winning football matches. Now, I hated watching West Ham under Sam Allardyce more than anyone. But the main reason for that is, bar that first season back in the Premier League, when we come 10th or something like that, I think we had a really good season. It was then just dross after that, right? It's just like lower mid-table, and there was clear room for improvement, like league position-wise. And that was proper Route 1 football, right? That wasn't what David Moyes, where it was a bit more, happy to concede possession, but would still counter-attack in an exciting fashion. That was more Route 1. So anyone who says they're the same is wrong. But I'm so bored. It's a football manager's job to win football matches with the players you've got. Obviously, yeah, it's important to invest in the summer and buy players as well. That is important. I understand that. But that's sort of your secondary thing. You report up to the board. In 2025, it's like that, right? Vincent Kompany spent all season at Burnley playing one way. It's like, Vincent, looks like Burnley are going to go down, mate. Well, this is the way I play. This is the way I want to play football. All right, but Burnley FC, who are bigger as a football club than Vincent Kompany is as an individual, That's fine, but Burnley FC might go down. That will cost the club loads. The fans will be unhappy. So, yeah, maybe we could just sort of be a bit more pragmatic, tweak it, try and actually win some games. Remember, because you're the manager, that's what football teams are supposed to do. No, that's all I play. They go down. He clears off to flipping Bayern Munich.
He got him a job to Bayern Munich, so
exactly, because he used Burnley FC as a big flipping advertising board of look what Vincent Company can do for a whole season. Burnley then go down, get a proper manager in Scott Parker, who then goes, all right, yeah, well, that's fine what you did, Vincent, but now Burnley are in the Championship because of you. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll just do one of the things that's really important in football and shore up the defence. Burnley conceded about 1 goal all season when they come back up.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Parker, to be fair to him this season, I know I've been unlucky in the last 2 games to
right,
lose out late, but they're brilliant, really organised, really give a good showing against Liverpool. And I'm so bored. And Graham Potter said after the game, I think, he said recently that he sees the style differently to how some of the journalists who are asking questions do. It's like, but sorry, like you've been there for 9 months, and like just look at the amount of games you've won in that time. Like all this talk about style and approach and blah blah blah. Sorry, but none of that is impressive or important when your goalie can't use his hands and your team isn't winning that many football games, or you're losing loads and collapsing in loads. That's what fans are bored of. But fans buy into it, of our own club and other clubs. They're like, yeah, trust the process. Man United fans at the moment talking about Amorim. It's like, the bloke, what's he doing there? What is he doing? I appreciate that you need projects, but you need to have there are signs of progress, aren't there? Like there are managers both at our football clubs and at other football clubs who've come in and had not even necessarily instant impacts, but reasonably quick impacts. That's the point of a manager, isn't it? And it is to win football games. And where are we going? What is there? What is there to look at? A couple of times in that first half at the weekend, and people will talk to me about this Forest game. Let's have it right. We didn't, so quote my inner James Jones there, we didn't wipe the floor with Forest. We held on. We rode a few waves of their attacks. We defended resolutely for 80 minutes. Got a great goal from Bowen, fair play. And then they collapsed. Let's not rewrite history yet again and pretend we absolutely dominated them with Potter ball, because we didn't. Like, if anything, I know I was being facetious about it. It was sort of Moyes ball, clung into the game and took our chances. Like, this isn't going anywhere. There's nothing, there's no even signs or shoots of recovery. The only thing I can say from that Tottenham game, we don't look like scoring. In the first half, there was a couple of occasions where we played and clearly tried. Fernandes was part of it. Bowen was involved as well, Paqueta, where we tried to play some nice, one-touch football on a couple of occasions. And you were like, fair enough. And it was nice, little bit of intermovement, and sort of come into a passage of play where the whole ground clapped at the end and went, come on, West Ham. It was good. But other than that, mate, seriously, what are we looking at here? What's good?
Well, one of the big things that confused me about the way that he approached the Tottenham games, especially because it's home games, you've got to play a striker, mate. You've got to put a striker on the pitch. Like, those little one-touch movements and that, you need a striker with the intelligence to be able to run in behind and actually finish them off, right? Or show a bit of movement up front. And he's not done it. And I don't understand why, when you're playing a home game against one of your biggest rivals, you don't go, come on, we're definitely going to strike on the pitch today. We didn't like scoring, so we didn't have a strike on the pitch, quite frankly. And that's what was missing. Because we had no one there was no focal point. There was nothing. We get into an attacking position. There's no one in there. So again, that's another worry thing. It's like, I can't really know why he's approached the game like that. Such a big game, off the back of a good win at Forest. Okay, well, let's go again. There was talk that Fulcook might have been an injury. Play Callum Wilson in. He's got a great goal against Forest. Really good goal. The build up to it, the movement, showed that he's got it. Play him. Start him. But I hear what you're saying about, there's almost nothing to see. Like,
Yeah,
we don't
there's
know.
nothing where you go, when we get even better at that thing, when that thing clicks, we'll win a few games in because we're definitely going to score via this thing that he's trying. It isn't quite coming off yet. When the players get a bit better at this thing he's trying to do, we'll be fine. There's a lot. There's none of that to go on. There's none of that.
The other one is that, when he was playing far at the back and the midfield kept getting overrun. So we're like, okay, we'll buy you a whole new midfield then, Graham. And then as soon as you do that, he just stops playing far at the back. So that it wasn't working because you didn't have a midfield that suited that formation, right? So we'll go out and buy 2 young, energetic, creative midfielders, and it's like, oh yeah, no, I don't want to play that anymore. Thanks though, cheers, Dave. But
I at least I'd prefer that, right? To you might not think they're quite ready yet. I mean, fella come off the bench didn't he in the second half, but I don't mind that because again, I don't really care. I just like each week we play a new game of football. West Ham United, our blokes go out in claret and blue, and the other team will have their kit on. The idea is that we try and win. I know this, it's important to think about the future and all that sort of stuff. I don't care really. And I don't really care if you got philosophy. Like I would draw the line if we went back to like Tony Pulis ball again or Sam Allardyce ball. Then yeah, all right, fair enough. Then you'd like to see, but I don't really care. No one can possibly tell me that winning a game 1-0, where you sort of, you're in the game and you might not have a lot of the ball, but at least you're in it and you look like a normal football team because defending is a part of looking like a normal football team. No one could tell me that and then seeing us nick a 1-0, well, right, we didn't necessarily do anything all game. No one can tell me that's better than this at the moment. No one can tell me it's better than every time the opposition crosses the ball or gets a corner, you're like, they'll score here. No one can tell me being totally out of games, blown away in games after an hour mark, like we're seeing at the moment, and having no faith or no real ability, nothing to get excited about, that looked like we're going to score. Paqueta's one against Chelsea was a 1 in a million, right? He hits that 100 more times, 2 or 3 of them go in. Bowen, brilliant goal at Forest, excellent stuff. The other 2 there are collapsed. Like we haven't really scored. We haven't got a type of West Ham goal, have we? Do you know what I mean? Like, for example, Tottenham under Postecoglou last season, the amount of goals they scored, where it be Brennan Johnson is the one that sticks in my head, but Brennan Johnson or insert another winger's name here for Tottenham, come racing in at the back post because Dominic Solanke or the other winger has whipped a ball across because they build up play with the underlapping runs or whatever. There was like a Tottenham style of goal, as lots of teams have. Man City, same sort of thing. Like lots of teams have that. There isn't a West Ham type of or Graham Potter type of goal that doesn't exist. I'm bored of it, mate. I'm just really bored of it. And no one, like, the whole point of being a manager is you win football games, whatever that looks like. And no one cares about your style, really. No one cares. No one, you know what I mean? No one cares. Anyway, if he does go, James, who do you think replace him? Unless you got anything else to say on that, Siraj, but we need to wrap this up. I think Nuno Espirito Santo, and I'd back that. That's one thing. But I know fans wouldn't accept it because he's pragmatic again and the cycle would start again. Everyone knows what side my bread's buttered as far as that sort of thing. It would be very much back to like Moyes when he came in because it's that style of football. That's what he does. It bred success at Nottingham Forest. I'd love to see it back again at West Ham, just where West Ham look like a team who aren't just looking to be rolled over all the time. I think a bit of steel back in the team, bit of organisation, bit of professionalism. I'd love to see it. I think he would do that. I think he'd be a good character for it. I think he's got the clout to manage upwards and sideways and deal with the pressure of the fan base. I think he's got a bit of experience now. I think he did a brilliant job at Forest. Extremely unlucky to lose his job. So Nuno's my shout, and I think that might be me for talking on this podcast, Jonesy.
I can see it happening. I can definitely see it happening. And given that he's had to manage upwards for an owner like Marinakis, David Sullivan won't be an issue, really, will it?
Totally, mate.
So it's like, well, I'm not massively against it, and it's a move that I could see happening if we lose against Palace, especially if it's another heavy defeat at the weekend. I wouldn't be surprised if the club made the move, because he's sitting there as a free agent, and the job he did at Forest, as much as since he's been there, I've grown to dislike Forest very much. I can't deny the fact he's done a wonderful job there, unbelievable job.
Unbelievable. Nottingham Forest.
Under circumstances where he was literally just bought like half the world's football players and going, right, we'll deal with that. Right, there's 400 players, but you can only pick 11 of them every week. But you've got a load of players there now.
You're on the bench, so.
And like he did what he did, and yeah,
I know Steve Cooper got the brunt of that, didn't he? But Nuno did have a similar thing that he had to contend with after that, and I quite agree, James. I admire the job he did there. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job, and I think he would be, of all the, I still see fans go and get Jose, And you've said it a few times as well.
I'd take him,
and I would have taken him 5 years ago, but probably not now. I think his stock has gone. Like, I don't think he is the Jose Mourinho people think he still is. I don't think he's got the same impact. I don't think. I just don't. There's a lot of red flags about him now for me.
I prefer Nuno now. If it was a choice between the two, I'd prefer Nuno. However, if Nuno, the thing hadn't have happened at Forest, I'd be all for what we got to lose. Just roll the dice, get him in, see what he can do. You never know. Like, he's brilliant at Roma. Like, I don't necessarily. And even at Tottenham, to be fair, like,
well, if he'd have stayed, he would have won him a trophy, wouldn't he? But he got sacked before the final.
Yeah, they got done by City though, didn't they? To be fair, and it was literally their cup. They owned the League Cup at the time.
Yeah, I know, but with Mourinho in charge and a cup final,
well, that's exactly it. Yeah,
win it, right?
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. Like, if we're given a choice, I would go Nuno over Mourinho, which sounds mental given what Mourinho's done in his career. But I just think we've seen the best of Mourinho and his managerial career. We've seen the best of him, and I just don't think it would be a good fit. But yeah, I wouldn't be against Nuno. Style of play. Like, although I was admittedly getting a little bit frustrated with the way that we're playing football under David Moyes towards the end, that second half of his last season. I was just getting frustrated. We've already seen how effective we are at it as a football club.
Yeah, that's such a good way of putting it. That's really good.
And with the players, yes, since Moyes has left, we've kind of moved. We've got a lot more creative players in the team, but they can still work. We showed it a number of times under Moyes, particularly in those early years when he came back when we were in Europe.
Of course.
The creativity that can still exist within that team, and we saw it at Forest. Hudson-Odoi, Gibbs White, Alanga when he was there. There's creative players there. Yeah, Elliot Anderson's become like one of the best English midfielders in the Premier League.
Declan Rice 2.0, yeah.
And he's like, and he couldn't kick a ball at Newcastle. He's gone to Nottingham Forest playing in that style of football, and suddenly he's getting England called up. So I'm not against it, and I could see it happening. Yeah, like, he's available. So
would you? I'd Nuno or Jose. I'd have Nuno or Jose over. You said you think we've seen the best of Jose. I think we've seen the best of Graham Potter. I haven't got any faith he gets any better. I really haven't. Because I think what you said is such a good way of putting it, mate. It's excellent. I don't think we are capable of playing the way that lots of fans have in their minds that we should be playing as West Ham. I don't think we're capable of doing that as a club, because it takes so much more than just a manager for whom that's his philosophy to do that on the pitch and deliver it.
Yes, and we touched on it last week, didn't we? I think it requires a complete overhaul from top to bottom at the football club. That includes,
and that's not coming
the board. It includes the ownership of the football club. It includes the infrastructure within the football club as well.
Yeah. Like George Sims from the Observer said that, didn't he, the other week? That it's commonly accepted in football industry and in the circles that West Ham are sort of dinosaurs when it comes to analytics and processes.
even the training ground is substandard for a Premier League football club. And then with that comes the analytical side of the data centre that most Premier League football clubs have now at their training grounds. We just don't have it. So, and there's nothing wrong with fans wanting to see their football team play a better style of football, right? But we're not going to get it.
No.
And I think the last year and a bit has proven that we're not going to get it under this, whatever this is, So, yeah, with that in mind, I would take Nuno because I think Forest weren't bad to watch last year. No,
but again,
they were fun, right? They were fun. Annoyingly, they were fun. They almost got in the top four.
I know.
So, and a lot of Forest fans were frustrated that they bottled it towards the end, but
you can't.
They still got into Europe. Like unexpectedly, they got into Europe, right?
Yeah.
And they were they were second or third for much of the season. Like, amazing, great. Like, we'd have been buzzing if that was us. Unbelievable.
Of course we would, mate. Of course.
So yeah, I'm not against it. I'd take it.
It's one of them styles of football, right? Again, that same as David Moyes, as in it's brilliant, or not brilliant, but like doesn't matter when you're winning. It's fine when you're winning. If it's effective and your team's better than the others and you're scoring more than other teams do, great. It's one of them that again would be pants when it doesn't go well. It does require it to be going well for it to be palatable. But I'm telling you, mate, it's no Paul Coyte, brilliant opposition view this week, came on and talked about when Jose Mourinho and Conte were at Tottenham. And he said there's a ranking, right, that all football fans should remember in terms of preference. He said, number one is winning football, playing an attractive style of play. Number two is winning football, regardless of the style of play. Number three is losing football, but having a go in the style of play you like. And number four is losing football, but not in the and while playing awfully, right? And that I think is that's sort of the difference there, right? I think the majority of David Moyes' time at West Ham, we were playing number two, yeah? We were winning games, but in a style that some fans, but that's number two. It's better doing that than losing football in a style you like. But then when it went to number four towards the end, that's what fans think of. So I look back and I remember the number two times, and lots of fans look back and remember the number four times, don't they, at the end? But you can't tell me that you are not enjoying or hating watching West Ham at the moment any more than you were at the end of David Moyes. I'm not saying, but it's crap football every way you look at it, right? I don't think there's you and lots of other fans, and me included, to be fair, like at the end, there was nothing I am seeing now that I find more enjoyable than I was at the end of David Moyes. Like crap football and West Ham are losing, whatever way you look at it. I'm not like, oh yeah, brilliant. When they did that little 1-2 in the middle of the pitch at the second half, and we got a corner out of it, that's really exciting. So much better. Obviously, we lost 3-0, just like we did under Moyes. Brilliant. Like, it doesn't matter. If West Ham are rubbish and they're losing, no one's that interested. So I think the only chance we have got, as we've established, of getting into bracket 1 or bracket 2, which is one of the brackets that are prefaced by winning football, is pragmatism. And I think Nuno proved it at Forest. I don't think Nottingham Forest would have achieved what they have league position-wise getting into Europe, trying to play this attractive brand of football. I just don't think it would have happened. And that's why Brighton, good as they are, and Brentford, as much as people like them, they're not getting into Europe Pondy Reg, are they? No, they're just B-Tech versions of Manchester City who get dicked whenever they play against those teams.
Just on the Forest thing, see, they got rid of Nuno. Obviously, there were mitigating circumstances, obviously, very public fallout, Marinakis and all the rest of it. But they've now gone the other way.
Mate,
like,
what a lurch. Right? What a lurch.
It's literally gone from one end of the spectrum to the other with Ange.
Yeah.
And you go in, and see, they Arsenal away first game.
An operative word as well, to be fair.
Yeah, so Arsenal away first games, like, they were always going to lose that.
Yeah.
But I'm so interested to see what way that goes, because those players, all 400 of them, they know they only know one way of playing, and then they've got to be told they've got to do the exact opposite.
Yeah.
it's going to be so interesting to see what happens with that, because Forest have basically done what we tried to do, but times 1,000. Because Hans Postecoglou doesn't even know, he doesn't know the meaning of defending. He's just like, no, just attack, guys, gung ho. So I'm it's going to be fascinating what happens there.
But Forest didn't even wait. They didn't even have the sense to wait until the team was at least performing badly under that style of football.
Yeah,
it was like, no, we're going to sack him while we're smashing it. He's just going to Europe. We'll sack him then. Like, we're like at literally the peak of our club's modern history.
Yeah,
that's when we'll get rid of him. And then who can you think of that's the most opposite to the manager we've got now? What about that bloke last season who took Tottenham Hotspur to the lowest league position they've had in decades? Yeah. Should we get him? Yeah, won the Europa League though, and he is Greek, just like me. So yeah. No, mate, I must admit, it's a weird thing to say, but in a weird way, I'm desperate for that to go catastrophically wrong, like everyone thinks it's going to, because I don't want moves like that to be rewarded. Really, I think after what Nuno, that man, has done for their club, I don't want them to be rewarded by making a decision like that. I really hope there's a catastrophic collapse.
So do I, to be fair. I wonder why.
Yeah, there's a bit of consequences, you know what I mean? Because I just think it's like, I was a bit petulant in it. But anyway, that's enough talking. James, how do we end up doing this all the time? I don't even feel much better. I like talking to you, as you well know. My best friends in the whole wide world, James. But normally it makes you feel better. It hasn't. We've done an hour and 7 minutes of it. I don't know how. It's like awful. I just don't know. You lot better have enjoyed this, by the way. I'll tell you what, right? If you did enjoy it and you've been listening to the We Are West Ham podcast for a long time, go and join up on Patreon, will you? It's only a couple of quid a month. Makes me and James, it helps me and James pay for all the stuff on the podcast. We have to put ourselves through this. This is a Monday night. It's 8:30 on a Monday night. Me and James could have been sitting here, enjoying having a nice dinner, could have been at the pub, could have been doing anything. But instead, we come home here and we begrudgingly talk about West Ham being rubbish just for you lot.
And I feel a lot worse having done it as well today.
Exactly. I don't feel any better. It used to be in the old days, we'd do the podcast and it'd cheer us up a bit. It doesn't. It's worse. We're not able to forget about it. I haven't mentioned it all day today. Any Tottenham fans who come up to me, I've gone, don't want to talk about it. And it's worked. I've got no choice. So it's just for you lot. So if you appreciate it, patreon.com/WeAreWestHam podcast. If you're already a patron, thank you very much. Follow us as well, or subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Do that. Do those two things. We do also post videos on Patreon as well, by the way, so you get to choose whether you want to listen to audio or video. What else, James? Follow us on socials at @WeAre_West Ham on Twitter. Get us on Instagram at @WeAreWestHamPod. No doubt there'll be some Tottenham fans pick up on some stuff from this episode. Mainly around Kudus, or just generally how miserable we are. But honestly, I was saying to all my Tottenham fans this weekend, there's no glory in what you've done. There's no glory. We are rubbish at football. Well, we certainly were for the first 45. Thanks for compounding it even more, Super Tom. I'm your biggest fan, but not the one. Right, James. I mean, that's about it. 1 minute and 9 seconds. No, 1 hour and 9 minutes. Even though we did nose up an intro in there, to be fair. So thanks for listening, everyone. We'll have a Crystal Palace opposition view for you later this week. I don't know who it will be yet. And I really don't want to have to talk about West Ham again. But again, for you lot, I will. Thanks for listening. Crystal Palace at home on Saturday. Follow us on socials. God, what's the point? West Ham are massive. Up the Hammers. Speak to you later this week.